Welcome back to my channel. Today we are deploying a simple application to an Amazon EC2 instance. So we will cover everything from launching the instance to securely accessing it via SSH. So let's get started. So we're starting from the AWS Management Console. The first thing we're going to do is create or launch the instance. So in the search bar, you can search up EC2 and you can click on, of course, EC2. Now, once you're in the EC2 page, you can go ahead and click on Launch Instance. So what we're doing here is creating a virtual machine in the cloud. And this is what EC2 or Elastic Compute Cloud is. So now we're going to configure our instance, and the first thing we're going to choose is the AMI or the Amazon Machine Image. We're gonna go with Amazon Linux 2023 since it is free. And as for the instance type, we're gonna go with the T2 Micro. So it's free tier eligible and perfect for lightweight web apps or testing. Now the next thing we're gonna do is create a key pair, and this is our secure login mechanism. You can think of it like a password, but more secure and stored in a file. So you can go ahead and click on create new key pair. You can name it anything you want, and here, as you can see, we've got two options. We've got .ppk and we've got .pem. Now the .ppk file or format is the format that PuTTY uses or reads, and as for the .pem file or format is the file that OpenSSH reads or uses. Now PuTTY and OpenSSH are both reliable. We can say that PuTTY is more old school or older and OpenSSH is newer. Also, PuTTY is only used in Windows, and as for OpenSSH is used in Windows, Mac, and Linux. Now, if you're using Mac or Linux, just download the .pem file and then run this code in the terminal. Now, as for me, I am using a Windows device, so I can either go with OpenSSH or PuTTY. So both work, and as I said, both are reliable and secure. For me personally, I have been using PuTTY forever, so I'm just gonna stick to PuTTY. So what I'm going to do is download the .ppk file. Now after that, we're going to the network settings, and here I'm going to allow SSH, and this is how we will connect to the instance. I'm also going to allow HTTP traffic and HTTPS traffic, and these are critical as they are needed for your web app to be publicly accessible. If you don't enable these, your app will not load in a browser later. Now, once we have our key pair downloaded and our security group configured, you can scroll down and click on Launch Instance. Now, AWS will provision your virtual machine, and after that, you can head over to the instances page and you will see your instance initializing. You can wait a few seconds until the status check says checks passed, and that means that the instance is fully up and ready. Now after that, what I'm going to do is download PuTTY. So I'm gonna go ahead and just type in download PuTTY in Google, and then I'm going to click on the first page, and of course this is the official page. You can click on download. Now after downloading PuTTY, you will need to install it, and since I have already installed it, I'm not gonna do that again. Now next, what I'm going to do is go back to the instance page, and I'm going to click on the instance ID to go into details. After that, I'm gonna click on connect so that we can connect to the instance, and then you will see SSH client. So you can go ahead and click on SSH client, and now what we're gonna do is locate the public IPv4 DNS or domain name system. So this is the address you will use to SSH or secure shell into your EC2 instance, and later access your web application. And as you can see, I can simply copy the public DNS, and after that I'm going to open PuTTY, and here in the host name field you can paste the public DNS of your instance. After that, in the left sidebar you can go to connection and then SSH and then auth or authenticate. So here what we're going to do is browse or select the key pair file that we have downloaded earlier. So you can go ahead and click browse and you will locate the .ppk file that we have downloaded. Of course, this is our private key file that will allows us to securely log in. Now after that we can change the font in PuTTY because by default the font size is really small and unreadable. So you can click on appearance and then change, and then of course you can change the font size so that it would be more efficient. Now as you open PuTTY, you will get a PuTTY security alert for the first time, and this is normal, and you just click on accept to of course trust the host. Now in the terminal you will be prompted to log in as, so you can type in EC2 user, and this is of course by default. So if your key was loaded correctly, you should be logged into the EC2 instance. So now we have just SSH into the virtual machine in the cloud. And now that we are successfully logged into our EC2 instance as EC2 user, it's time to set up a simple web server. And to do that, we will use Apache, or we will install Apache, which is one of the most widely used open source web servers. Now, before we actually install Apache, the first thing we need to do is update the package manager. So this ensures we're installing the latest available versions and security patches. So we need to run sudo yum update and y. So sudo gives you administrative privileges. Yum is the package manager used by Amazon Linux. Update refreshes the list of available packages and applies updates, and Y basically automatically confirms the installation prompts. So it's always good practice to update your system before installing new software. And now we're going to install Apache. So we will run sudo yum install y httpd and then hit enter. This command installs everything we need to start hosting content. And now that Apache is installed, we will run sudo systemctl start httpd.service, and this gets the service running immediately, and then we will enable it to start automatically on every boot with sudo systemctl enable httpd.service. So enable here ensures that Apache runs every time the EC2 instance boots up. And now that Apache is up and running, we need to locate our application files, and the easiest way to do that is by using GitHub. So you can go ahead and navigate to github.com, and I have already registered, or I have already saved my application file in my GitHub repository, and the repository is called Hello AWS. So in Hello AWS repository, you will see index.html. Now I'm going to click on that file, and as you can see, this is my application. It's a simple Hello World app that will display Hello World. Welcome to my website. This is a simple HTML Hello World application. Now, of course, you can use my file here in GitHub, or you can choose to create your own file, and you can choose to create your own repository by clicking create new repository. You can name your repository whatever you want, of course, and don't forget to set the repository to public so that you can publicly access it, and then you can click on create repository. After that, you can either upload an existing file or create a new file. Of course, we are talking about the application file. So this application file will be accessed through this repository in GitHub. So you can paste or you can write your code in here, and you've got your application. Now what we're going to do is go back to PuTTY, and we need to navigate to the root directory in Apache. So we need to click on cd, which is basically a command to that, so that we can navigate to a directory. So the directory is /var/www/html. Again, this is the root directory where Apache can read files. So now what I'm going to do next is remove or delete any files named index.html in that directory. So I'm going to use sudo rm, which is removed, and then f, and then index.html. Now I don't know if I have any files in there or not, but I'm just gonna make sure that they are removed. After that, what I'm going to do is download or curl the application file, which is index.html, in my repository. So I'm going to use curl, which is a command to fetch files from the internet. So sudo curl o and then index.html, and then I'm going to head over to my application file, of course index.html, and then I'm going to copy the link. Now beware, do not copy this link, but rather you click on raw, and then you copy this link right here. It says raw.github. whatever it is, and then you paste that link in PuTTY. And now what is left to do is actually access the application. So I'm going to go back to my instance page, and then under EC2 Instance Connect, you will see a public IP address. You can simply copy that IP address and then paste it in your browser, and then of course hit enter, and you will see the page or the application that you have just created. So hello world, welcome to my website. And that's pretty much it. I only hope this was helpful. If it was, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions, just drop them in the link below. And if you want to check out my courses on cloud and IT, you can simply click on the links in the description below. And that's it. I'll see you in the next video.